In the early 2010s, the internet was fertile ground for mysterious tales and creepy stories shared on forums and social media. One of the most infamous creations was the Slender Man, a tall, faceless figure dressed in a black suit with unnaturally long limbs. The Slender Man was said to lurk in the shadows of forests, stalking children and pulling them into his eerie world. The character was entirely fictional, created as part of an online contest for scary stories. Yet, the myth quickly grew beyond the digital realm, captivating the imaginations of young people across the world. Among them were two 12-year-old girls, Anissa and Morgan, living in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Both girls were drawn to the Slender Man stories and became obsessed with the idea that he was real. They spent hours on the internet researching his lore, sharing videos and stories, and discussing their own theories. Their fascination with the figure was more than casual. They believed that by proving their devotion to Slender Man, they could become his proxies in the human world. Anissa and Morgan started to convince themselves that Slender Man had chosen them for a special purpose. They began to believe that they needed to protect him from harm and that he would reward them for their loyalty. Their friend Peyton, also 12, was initially skeptical but was drawn into their world by the intensity of their conviction and friendship. This fascination, combined with the vulnerability of adolescence and the isolation many young people face, set the stage for a tragic and disturbing event that would shock the nation. On a summer day in 2014, the three girls made plans to meet in a wooded area near their homes. Anissa and Morgan had a plan they kept secret from everyone else, but Peyton was unaware of their true intentions. The forest was thick with tall trees, the sunlight filtering through leaves in eerie patterns, adding to the atmosphere of mystery and fear that had come to surround the girls' conversations about Slender Man. As they walked deeper into the woods, Anissa and Morgan grew increasingly tense and distant. Suddenly, without warning, they turned on Peyton and attacked her with a knife. They stabbed her 19 times in the back and torso, leaving her severely wounded but still alive. The motivation behind the attack was chilling. Anissa and Morgan told authorities later that they believed they had to kill Peyton to appease Slender Man and prove their loyalty to him. They thought that by doing so, they would prevent him from harming their families and that he would reward them with a place at his side. Despite her grave injuries, Peyton managed to crawl out of the woods and flag down a passing motorist, who called for help immediately. She was rushed to the hospital where she survived, though her physical and emotional recovery would take years. The community was stunned by the attack and struggled to comprehend how such young girls could commit such violence, especially under the influence of a fictional internet myth. Once the police investigated the incident, it became clear that the Slender Man myth was at the center of the case. Anissa and Morgan admitted to their actions, explaining their belief in the supernatural figure and their motivations. Psychologists and legal experts were brought in to evaluate the mental states of the two girls, trying to understand how their obsession with the myth had turned into a real-world act of violence. The case sparked widespread media attention and intense debate about the role of internet culture in influencing young minds. Some experts argued that the girls suffered from mental illnesses and that their belief in Slender Man was part of a psychotic break from reality. Others discussed the dangers of unmonitored access to frightening content online and the lack of adult intervention. In court, the girls faced charges of attempted homicide. Due to their ages, the legal proceedings were complex, balancing the need for justice with considerations for rehabilitation. The court also focused heavily on the psychological evaluations and expert testimonies about their mental health. The incident became a case study in how fictional online stories could impact vulnerable youth and highlighted the need for greater awareness and education about internet safety and mental health support. The Waukesha stabbing left a lasting mark on the community and the wider world. Peyton's survival was seen as a miracle, but the emotional scars remained deep for everyone involved. Anissa and Morgan were eventually sentenced to long-term psychiatric treatment rather than prison, with ongoing debates about their culpability and the best ways to rehabilitate young offenders influenced by extreme beliefs. The incident sparked national conversations about the responsibility of online platforms and parents to monitor children's internet use and about the importance of mental health resources for adolescents. Schools and community groups began to focus more on teaching children about distinguishing fiction from reality and about the dangers of internet obsession. Slender Man, once a simple online myth, became a symbol of the dark side of internet culture and the unforeseen consequences of blending fiction with reality in the minds of impressionable youth. The story serves as a grim reminder of how powerful stories can be, whether told around campfires or spread through digital networks, and how important it is to watch over the well-being of young people navigating those worlds.